Just saw something huge up the trail. Hold on. Do you see that? Right there.
Most encounters in the wilderness don't begin with fear. They start in silence when everything feels completely normal. But then a hunter suddenly spots two massive figures feeding deep in the forest. And in another moment, something stands motionless in the darkness, captured by a trail camera watching from the trees. So, what are people really seeing out there? And how many times has something been watching us first? Deep within a quiet forest, someone captured an unusual moment. Near a riverside, a dark figure crouched close to the water, moving in a way that immediately caught attention. Viewers who watched the clip began comparing it to Bigfoot, while others suggested it could simply be a gorilla far from its natural habitat. Since the exact location of the recording is unknown, it's difficult to determine what the figure actually was. Does anyone have more information about this mysterious video? Late one night at the Campsite Brewing Company in Covina, California, a security camera recorded something unusual. Near the edge of the frame, a tall, dark figure appeared for a brief moment. When staff reviewed the footage the next morning, no one could explain what they were seeing. Some believed it resembled a person, while others insisted it looked more like Bigfoot. To this day, the mysterious figure captured on camera has never been identified. A quiet morning of turkey hunting takes a sudden turn into a disturbing encounter deep in the wilderness.
I'm so startled right now. I'm so startled. Yeah.
As the sun rises and the hunter waits patiently, he suddenly notices movement in his peripheral vision, two large, shadowy figures in the distance.
Bigfoots. I don't know. It looks like he's got a dead deer in his arm or something. I'm not sure. Oh my god, I think he sees me.
Two Bigfoots. One of them appears to be holding a dead deer, though he isn't certain. The figures seem to be foraging, examining the ground, and picking up something with their large hands. As he watches in disbelief, it becomes clear to him they might be feeding on a recently killed animal nearby. Uber, known as the Woods Master, was hiking near a remote ridge when he noticed a large, dark figure.
Up on that ridge, I had seen a black shape walk over to the edge, and then it just vanished that quick. I'm gonna go up there and see what we might see today.
He said he saw a black shape walk to the edge of the ridge before disappearing instantly. Deciding to investigate, he climbed up to get a better view. That's when he saw it again. A massive figure moving through the trees. Moments later, a loud knock echoed through the forest. He kept recording, his heart racing.
Where'd it go? This part of it. Where'd it go?
Unsure where the sound had come from. Fortunately, whatever was out there never came any closer, and he was able to leave safely. Hikers in Oregon were resting beside a river when they noticed a large figure moving along the opposite bank. They quickly grabbed their camera and zoomed in, observing that one of its arms appeared twisted, or possibly injured. The figure never reacted to the hikers and soon disappeared into the trees. Many viewers agree the footage looks disturbingly real. A man was walking along a forest trail casually filming his surroundings when he suddenly noticed something behind him.
I just saw something huge up the trail. Hold on. Do you see that? Right there. Oh my God. It's walking like a person, but that's not a person. Look at the size of it. It's going into the...
Far up the path, a tall, wide, hairy figure came into view, moving with a human-like stride before disappearing into the trees. The silhouette appeared massive, its slow steps still visible even from a distance. Many viewers believed the clip captured one of the most convincing Bigfoot sightings ever recorded. The movement looked natural, and the distance added to its realism. However, when analysts examined the footage, they identified several inconsistencies lighting that didn't align with the environment, unusual frame distortions, and motion patterns that pointed toward digital manipulation. In the end, the seemingly believable Bigfoot turned out not to be a real creature but an AI-generated illusion. A man camping with his son at Salt Fork State Park spotted a dark figure moving through the trees and managed to capture a brief video of it. Alarmed, they left the park right away and never came back. He later uploaded the footage to his channel H. Tausig, asking viewers to help identify what it was. The clip was later stabilized, brightened, zoomed, and enhanced. The figure clearly appeared to be moving upright, but due to the poor video quality, its details remained impossible to make out. A man and his father were camping deep in northern Michigan when, while collecting firewood, he suddenly felt like something was watching him. When he looked up, he noticed a figure that startled him so much, he quickly pulled out his phone and snapped several photos before fear took over. He later described the figure as humanoid but not human. Its body covered in short matted hair with a flat nose and a pronounced brow that gave it an ape-like look. When he went back to the same spot hoping to find it again, nothing was there. The photos were the only evidence that remained. A simple trail camera set up to monitor local wildlife ends up recording something far more unsettling. Late at night, deep in the forest, the camera detects movement and captures a large, shadowy figure stepping into view. Its tall form is barely visible in the darkness, yet its presence is unmistakably eerie. The figure remains for a brief moment, creating a chilling sense of unease. The footage leaves far more questions than answers, making it one of the most disturbing trail cam sightings ever recorded. In 1969, Alan Plaster captured a photograph of a strange, white, hair-covered figure near Lake Worth, Texas. Soon after, locals began reporting sightings of a 7-foot creature with a goat-like face, long claws, and a terrifying scream. Cars were found, scratched panic spread, and then the creature vanished, leaving only stories behind. But in 2025, a new video emerged from the same region, this time showing a dark, fur-covered figure in broad daylight.
Look at it close up right here. As you can see, it's all black. Massive. Easily a 9-footer. Check it out. Look at his gray beard. You can even see its face. Look at its nose right there. You see it? This was recorded in East Texas. Massive creature.
The close-up footage revealed a massive black shape, easily 9 feet tall, with what appeared to be a gray beard and a visible facial outline. The clip was reportedly filmed in East Texas and showed a creature of intimidating size. Some viewers dismissed it as a hoax, while others argued it was evidence that the Lake Worth monster had returned. In 2019, a man going through footage from his trail camera noticed something unsettling. A dark figure standing next to a tree, estimated to be about 6 to 7 feet tall. After the image was enhanced, investigators observed that it didn't resemble a bear or an ape. It lacked a snout and its arms appeared unusually long. This mysterious clip shows a tall figure moving rapidly through the woods, bearing a strong resemblance to Bigfoot. There is no available background information about who recorded it or where it was filmed, making the footage difficult to verify and less convincing overall. A YouTube channel named Oklahoma Adventures uploaded a video that quickly drew the attention of the Bigfoot community. Their team had gone deep into a forest known for unusual reports where they heard heavy movement in the distance, something large dragging itself through the trees. They soon came across scattered bones and unusual footprints that didn't match any known animal. Later, their camera recorded a massive dark figure watching from far away. The hikers didn't notice it and kept moving, but that night their trail camera captured the same figure again, this time silently observing a deer. The group also shared another encounter from a separate trip in a dense forest. They noticed movement behind a tree, and when they zoomed in, they saw something they couldn't explain. According to them, the creature produced a low growl, almost like a warning. At first, it resembled a gorilla, but since no wild apes live in Oklahoma, they believed Bigfoot was the only remaining possibility. The most surprising part, they claimed to have recorded the creature on camera twice. A peaceful hike near Port Renfrew suddenly turns into a frightening experience when a lone hiker encounters something unexpected. While walking through the remote wilderness, he suddenly notices a massive figure moving in the distance. Its sheer size sends a chill through him, yet he continues recording. Despite the growing fear, he zooms in and captures a closer view of the towering figure. Its imposing presence dominates the landscape, leaving little doubt that this is one of the most unsettling moments he has ever experienced. Several years ago in West Virginia, a man captured this footage close to his house. He was just recording a group of cows when he spotted something else in the background. The shape appeared human, but significantly larger, merging with the trees and making it hard to make out clearly. And like many of these cases, the video is heavily blurred, typical Bigfoot footage. Deep in the snow-covered forests of Noble County, Ohio, something powerful appears to move between the trees. A man walks cautiously through the cold, his breath visible in the air when he suddenly spots a large, dark figure in the distance. Something is violently shaking a tree, creating loud cracking sounds. As he zooms in with his camera, the figure seems to be pushing the tree down. Strange vocal noises and heavy tree knocks echo through the forest, sending chills through him. Some believe this could be evidence of Bigfoot. While in the Pacific Northwest, a family noticed something unusual at the edge of the forest. In broad daylight, movement drew their attention.
Motorcycles. Don't move in there. No, there's a motorcycle.
I don't see nothing down there. Can't be the motorcycles, honey. There's another sparkle. You see what I'm
What's
saying?
that? What is that?
Tree.
No. You moved it, right? Right there. See it?
Uh-huh.
Look.
There's nobody there. I can't see.
Look. Isn't it those people?
Can't be.
There's nobody.
Not up in the
down
trees.
there. There's nobody down there no more. See?
A tall figure, nearly 8 feet in height, appeared to move along the tree line and blend into the foliage as it passed. They were able to record the moment, but the distance and the camera's limited quality make it difficult to determine exactly what is visible in the footage. What they captured that day remains unclear. In 2014, while hiking near Lake Ontario, a man heard an unusual rustling coming from the bushes. Curious, he pulled out his camera to check what might be making the noise. What he recorded was unsettling. Crouched humanoid figure partially hidden by the foliage. It appeared broad, covered in hair, and hunched over watching from the shadows. Then, as if it realized it was being filmed, the figure suddenly pulled back into the forest, disappearing almost instantly. The man never got a closer look, leaving only one question. What exactly did he encounter that day in the woods? In May 2019, a fisherman in the United States headed out alone to film a quiet day beside a small stream. The trip felt peaceful, calm waters, still air, and nothing seemed unusual while he was recording. But later during editing, he noticed something he hadn't seen at the time. Just beyond the tree line, a large, dark shape briefly stepped into view before slipping back into the woods. Some viewers dismissed it as a lighting effect or a passing shadow, while others argued it resembled Bigfoot. What stands out most, however, is a faint white mark in the frame that looks like a face, a detail that for some makes it harder to explain as just a shadow. So, what did he really capture on that stream bank that day?
While hiking through New River Gorge in West Virginia, a woman stumbled on an enormous rock formation that looked less like a natural outcrop and more like a man-made structure. From a distance, it blended with the scenery, but up close, the shapes and patterns were oddly symmetrical. One section even resembled a massive doorway carved into stone. Even stranger were the huge, deep impressions found on its surface. Some insist it's all natural, erosion, and coincidence. Others wonder if something enormous might once have lived here.
On July 12, 2013, a man uploaded a disturbing video to the Legends Beware channel, documenting what began as a normal family visit to Otter Blue Ridge, Georgia. What started as a peaceful outing quickly became unusual when
Get in the house! Get in the house!
While filming the scenery, he noticed something strange near the tree line. Driven by curiosity, he followed the figure into the woods, hoping to get a better view. As he moved closer, the creature produced a series of unsettling sounds that caused concern. Some viewers quickly dismissed the footage as a person in a costume, while others pointed to the creature's size, shape, and movement, suggesting it could be a juvenile Bigfoot. Someone later attempted to get closer for a clearer look, but the sighting ended without any clear conclusion. Was it a hoax or something much more unusual? A man in Washington recently shared a blurry photograph that he claims shows Bigfoot outside his remote cabin. In the image, a shadowy figure appears to be looking in through a window at night, watching from the darkness. The photo quickly sparked discussion online, though most viewers remained doubtful. In a time when nearly everyone has access to high-quality cameras, people are left asking the same question: why do these images still come out so unclear? In May 2025, a man reviewing footage from a trail camera he had placed deep in the woods noticed something unsettling. Roughly 25 meters away, partially concealed among the trees, a large dark figure stood completely still. It appeared far too tall and far too broad, and its movement didn't resemble any animal he recognized. Was this real footage of Bigfoot, or just a moment that seemed a little too perfectly timed to be genuine? On May 26, 2025, a man shared a photo on X saying it had been shown to him by his tour guide. In the image, one person is walking toward the camera while another triggers a flash to take the picture, and the flash unintentionally captures something unsettling in the frame. Behind them, a pair of glowing eyes and a large humanoid figure seem to be looking directly at the lens. So, what do you think pareidolia and a camera artifact or evidence of Bigfoot? A hiker noticed a figure moving in a strange, almost unnatural way. At first, he assumed it was a person, but the creature's size and manner of movement raised doubts. Someone zoomed in for a closer look, yet the image remained blurry and unclear. There's no confirmed information about who recorded it or where it took place, but something about the sighting felt unusual. In a separate case, another person shared a photo online claiming they had seen Bigfoot while camping. At first, they believed it might be a bear, but the way it moved didn't match a bear's gait. The subject was too far away to see clearly, so they took a picture to review later. When zoomed in, the body appeared more ape-like, which is confusing since apes don't exist in the wild in that area. It remained uncertain what was actually captured, but many viewers quickly suspected Bigfoot. In a quiet area of the Southern California mountains, a group of hikers came across something they couldn't explain. Hunched just behind the brush sat a massive figure, tall, broad, and clearly larger than an average person. Its size alone made it seem hard to believe. Curious, a YouTuber known as Thinker Thunker analyzed the image. He began by examining the lighting and shadows. Everything aligned with the surrounding environment. He then performed a color DNA test, increasing saturation, to check for signs of digital editing. In altered images, modified areas usually stand out during that process, but here nothing appeared unusual. The colors and textures blended naturally with the background. His conclusion was direct. Whatever showed up in the frame was there at the moment the photo was taken. So, the question remains, did they really capture Bigfoot on camera? Team members Kirk, Shane, and Dave reviewed thermal footage that showed a bipedal figure moving through the woods. Unlike typical thermal images of people where backpacks, jackets, and other gear appear clearly, this recording showed no equipment at all. There was no pack, no hat, no visible outline of clothing, only a clean heat silhouette even when the image was enlarged to 200% zoom. Later, clips featured hunters who displayed clear gear signatures on the same thermal camera, emphasizing the difference. In another segment, a brief heat spike appeared from behind a tree, aligning with the timing of the original sighting. The team also tried to recreate the initial clip, but their reenactment didn't fully match. They ultimately classified the footage as inconclusive, though the absence of any visible gear makes this case stand out compared to every human captured by that camera. A viewer who described himself as a Bigfoot researcher shared an unusual clip from one of his field expeditions.
Where to go? It's part of it.
The footage shows a dark figure moving through the forest, though it doesn't seem as large as most descriptions would suggest. Some have speculated it could be a juvenile, while others argue it simply appears to be a person dressed in black. Despite the mystery, many remain doubtful that the video shows Bigfoot at all. A live camera set up to observe a pair of nesting bald eagles ended up recording something completely unexpected. Positioned high in a tall tree, the camera usually streamed calm scenes of the birds caring for their nest. But far below movement along the forest floor drew viewers' attention a dark, upright figure walking steadily through the clearing. Its pace was slow and deliberate before it vanished into the trees, leaving behind a lingering mystery for those watching. In 1895, an explorer named Orrin Jeff made his way into Grand Caverns carrying a homemade box camera to test long exposure shots in total darkness. During one attempt, he reportedly heard faint movement nearby, triggered a flash, and briefly saw 3 figures observing him from the shadows. Startled, he left the area and returned several days later with companions to retrieve the camera. When the film was eventually developed, it showed a grainy image of 3 dark, human-like shapes near the cave entrance. The photograph resurfaced decades later and continues to spark debate. Some consider it possible evidence while others dismiss it as a clever hoax. After 2 weeks of ongoing observation in a remote wilderness, the research team finally recorded something unexpected. A strange creature appeared unlike anything they had witnessed before. Its thick fur, unusual proportions, and disturbingly human-like gaze sparked intense debate and speculation. The creature's limbs were long, its body wide and powerful, moving with a steady rhythm that felt both intelligent and unnatural. At one point, it seemed to collect branches and debris, engaged in some unknown activity. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the creature vanished into the wilderness, leaving behind nothing but unanswered questions. A peaceful afternoon at Lake Lanier's Ducket Mill Campground suddenly shifted when something unusual appeared near the water's edge. In broad daylight, a tall, dark figure could be seen walking slowly beside the lake. Curious, but careful, the observer started recording, unsure of what they were seeing. The figure seemed to be searching for something, its movements human-like, yet heavier, broader, and slightly unnatural. The witness later admitted it didn't feel like a person at all. Something about the way it moved just felt off. Could this have been a genuine Bigfoot sighting? In 1980, a group of campers in North Carolina's Warren National Forest reported a disturbing encounter. Late one night, they heard unusual sounds outside their tents and noticed a tall, dark, upright figure standing roughly 20 feet away. It appeared close to 7 feet tall, broad-shouldered, and strongly built. One camper managed to take a photo before the figure quickly disappeared into the darkness. Shaken by what they had seen, the group packed their belongings and left the campsite immediately. The story briefly surfaced in local newspapers before fading from attention, leaving behind only speculation and a single blurry image. In 2009, Bigfoot researcher Michael Green set up a thermal camera in a wooded area of North Carolina, a region long linked to reported sightings. To draw possible activity, he placed peanut butter and Squeaky toys on a tree stump. Later, the camera captured something unusual. a dark figure slowly entering the frame, swaying slightly before retreating back into the forest. Some of the toys were later found moved farther into the woods. The 3-minute clip later nicknamed Squeaky was examined by experts who suggested it might show Bigfoot. To this day, it remains one of the most widely discussed pieces of alleged evidence from those forests. A calm walk through the woods suddenly shifted when something large began moving among the trees. While exploring in broad daylight, a woman abruptly paused. Something ahead didn't feel right. She quietly stepped behind a tree and began recording. In the footage, a large, dark figure can be seen moving back and forth through the shadows, its motions slow, heavy, and strangely smooth.
Where'd it go?
She continued filming from her hiding spot, her heart racing as the figure kept pacing along the tree line, never breaking its steady rhythm. Could this have been Bigfoot, quietly roaming the forest, or something else entirely? What do you think she encountered out there alone in the middle of nowhere? While hiking on Bald Mountain, a couple noticed a dark figure moving across the steep river bottom below. It walked upright, completely black, and carried no visible gear. For nearly 5 minutes, they observed it as it moved quickly and smoothly over the uneven terrain before disappearing from view. They were able to capture it on video, though the distance made the footage unclear. To support their claim, they later shared both their exact location and the area where the figure had been seen, a place with no known trail. The encounter left them certain of one thing: whatever it wasn't human. A quiet 4th of July hike suddenly took a startling turn when a hiker captured something unusual on camera. As they moved carefully through the dense forest surrounded by calm and birdsong, a massive, dark figure unexpectedly appeared, slipping through a narrow opening in the trees. Holding still, the hiker remained silent and kept recording, trying not to make any noise. The figure paused beside a large rock, seemingly picking up something small, possibly a younger one, before continuing deeper into the woods. Zooming in, the hiker managed to record what looked like a towering Bigfoot, carrying a smaller figure in its arms, disappearing moments later into the quiet wilderness.
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.